Coming up on SEO Lunch, we turn the proverbial faucet to just leaky enough as we talk about drip content.
And Dan is going to share his story of being in prison for the last 10 years. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of SEO Lunch. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm Dan.
And this is the amazing show where we talk about some of the top stories in the SEO world, whether you're a small business owner or a brand new SEOer. We're going to take some of the top stories of inbound.org, smash them together, and let you decipher all the fun stuff that we have to share. Digest
them. Take what you will out of them.
Yes. And we do want to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you are enjoying the show, as always, go ahead and hit subscribe. Dan and I really, really appreciate it. slocumstudio.com/subscribe to join the mailing list. Let's take it from the top.
Making the most of your drip email campaign, content length, and frequency. This comes from Tommy Walker on Conversion XL. It's going to be our concept of the week, which is drip content, something we touched upon with MemberPress and our look at other membership plugins on our other show, Press This.
Competitor research in an inbound marketing world from the folks over at the ever-famous SEO Moz, John Doherty. We'll take a look at how you can actually study your competition in the inbound marketing world.
Absolutely. Then Michael Santos on the Daily Dot brings us what it's like to get online after 25 years in prison. Just a really fascinating, interesting read, and kind of goes through the steps on how to market yourself from nothing online.
21 actionable growth hacks, hacking tactics, I should say, by John Young-Fook. Could be the resource of the week.
Could be.
Potentially.
But isn't.
But it isn't.
We'll get to that in a second. But before we do that, we're going to look at a 7-step landing page template to convert prospects into leads. This comes from Howard Jacobson on Search Engine Watch. And what it basically says is, in layman's terms, your landing page should kind of look like an infomercial.
That's pretty amazing. And speaking of infomercials, if you call in the next 15 minutes, you too can get the free call to action button generator as our free resource of the week.
Very cool. But let's start from the top. Making the most of your drip email campaign from Tommy Walker on Conversion XL. This brings us to our concept of the week, something we've been doing for a couple weeks now, drip content. And drip content is basically a way, like a carrot on a stick, if you will, to get somebody to go through your website, to stay on your website, stay subscribed, build that email list, which we're going to talk about in a moment, either for free or paid.
Right. And I think there's two different things that you can do with this. The two immediate things that you would do with drip content is, one, sell access to this drip content. Sign up now, and we will send you a 5-part course for the next 2 weeks. And then every other day you send out this new piece of information, new and exciting content. Right. The other thing you can do with it is leverage the content you've already created, whether it be a collection of videos or blogs, and you can kind of just build your own little resource out of that and put that into a little drip marketing campaign. Yep. So you've got blogs from a year ago that might still be relevant. Instead of them just sitting there being dead, you can drip them out to a new audience, somebody else who's newly signing up to your list.
And you can use this to keep it in their frame of mind and put it into other people's frames of mind. You can also use it for premium content to say, okay, well, you have this, but now if you want, you can get this stuff out, or pay $5 a month, and every month we'll give you a really wonderful pizza recipe. Sorry, I already went there. It's too late. It's too
Article
late.
number 1, we're already talking about pizza.
Yeah. So speaking about email campaigns and getting people kind of in your ecosystem, the next article is Competitor Research in an Inbound Marketing World. This comes from John Doherty, and it's our weekly SEO Moz article. What this talks about is creating an email campaign. Interestingly enough, John says that 39.16, what is exact number, % of his conversions come from email marketing and not from other traditional forms of marketing online.
Yeah, and it's the obvious thing where if you're not building an email list, you're really, really missing out. If you're saying, well, I'm just sending them all over to be Facebook fans or Twitter followers or G++ers, that's not your platform. You don't own it at any time. That platform could disappear. something could change, and you won't be able to access that audience. So I really like the fact that he's emphasizing build the email list, number one. And number two, the quite obvious thing is, how do I analyze my competitors? Well, sign up for their email. Watch their Facebook, see how they do it. It's a pretty old tactic.
Yeah, but it works. Oldie but goodie. What it's like to get online after 25 years in prison. I thought this was a really cool article, just because it's an interesting one. Going every week, I go through the inbound.org, and I'm getting to the point now. We've done enough of these episodes where you look through this list, and you're like, okay, no. And this one caught my eye, and I clicked on it, and I really liked it.
Because you only know what it's like to be online after 10 years in prison.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. But what's going on here is this is a look at a step-by-step way to start from literally nothing. I mean, this man literally didn't even know what the internet was. He comes out of prison after 25 years, and from nothing, he grows this online fan base. He's now posting articles online, talking about how much internet has changed his life. True, but literally everything, as you go through this, he literally goes through all the steps we talk about. Getting started, starting with your first posts, getting social, contacting other websites to get your article posted on their websites. It's really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, and here's what I think. I think that because we're in the industry and we know we allegedly know all this stuff, we're always thinking like, well, there's going to be this mathematical equation or this formula of secret sauce that we should be putting together. When it comes down to it, if you just get out there and start doing it, 80% of life is showing up. Just get out there, right, and ask somebody to get a link or be on a website or make a connection. It's just common sense again.
Yeah, it's great. Moving on, we have 21 actionable growth hacking tactics. That was a mouthful. It comes from the man with the mouthful of last name, John Young-Fook. And this could have been our resource of the week because it does really take you through a step-by-step look at, similar to what the last article about prison was, or about coming out of prison and getting on the internet was. It talks you through social campaigns, distributing your content, posting it, contacting other people, and guest posting, stuff like that. One thing I saw in here that I didn't really think about or that isn't talked about on most of our episodes that was forced virality. If you look at the slideshow, it'll be on slide 22. By the way, the first 10, 12 slides are a little bit... yeah, but once you get past it, it's really good stuff. So I recommend reading through. Forced virality, basically creating content that says, well, if you want to access this, let a friend know. Sort of like Dropbox does, where if you recommend somebody to Dropbox, I think you get half of a gig or a gig of extra storage. A way to continuously grow that your emailing list or whatever, what you might want to be growing by saying, well, if you want to access this, you got to invite 5 other friends.
Yeah, and alert advertisement.
Yeah.
I on my other podcast, Matt Report, I interviewed a guy named Travis Ketchum who runs a contest website, and that's one of the things to enter into the contest. It's a plugin to host contests on your own site. To enter the contest, enter in your email. Once you get your email, you have one chance to win.
Okay.
Want 10 more chances? Share this with a friend. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's that force thing. And the other thing I really like about this article is number 16, which is slide 28. Get on Hacker News. Write content for geeks or create something open source, that kind of thing. The reason why they do that is because folks like you and I are very passionate. We're really in tune to finding something new. So if you can find a market maybe other than geeks, which is kind of tough to find, maybe video gamers, but kind of geeky in a way. Very tough to find.
I'd say that.
Right. I'd say it's very tough to find that niche, really passionate market other than the techies and the gamers and the geeks and stuff like that. But try to find one if you can.
Right.
If you can.
A 7-step landing page template to convert prospects into leads. This is from Howard Jacobson on Search Engine Watch. And what this basically says is your landing page should look like an infomercial. That's at least what I took out of it. The 7-step landing page thing basically looks like present a problem, exacerbate it a bit, explain a typical solution that you might have thought of before, but then present your solution, which is obviously way better, and market it in a way that says, oh, well, this was how I've been doing it before. But now I want to use you folks because you are obviously the clear, far and away best solution that I have. Yeah,
and it's something that we always struggle with is, but we want to make it look so pretty and we want to have to do all these things. And then everyone's like, oh, that looks like an infomercial. That looks like a print ad. Nobody's going to want to buy that. But you know what? That stuff still works. Even in today's design-heavy age where design wins like Apple and stuff like that. This basic layout still converts.
Right.
Which
And
is crazy.
Yeah, and it's cool too. We talked about multiple price bracketing, I think either last week or the week before, basically setting different prices and saying, well, the middle price is the one that people are actually ultimately going to want to purchase, but presenting those other solutions to say, well, I don't want to spend that much, but this just seems affordable.
Right.
Or, well, this solution kind of sucks.
Right.
So I'll go and buy this one instead.
Exactly.
This actually sort of kind of goes into that territory a little bit as well. So I wanted to, I guess, point that out. And then, of course, one of the other things is having call to actions on your website. Once you have all this stuff, present a pretty call to action button, which brings us to the last one, the resource of the week. Free call to action button generator. This is on buttonoptimizer.com. Pretty simple there. You go on there and you can create a custom button, which is either a CSS code, which you can, if you're a little bit more technically minded, or just a PNG image you can just kind of post into your website for people to click on, something a little bit more attractive than what may be the default on your website.
Yeah, so if you're making these landing pages like we just talked about to help with like Facebook advertising or Twitter advertising or just simple landing pages on your website, and you don't have time to go get the designer or the developer to hit the site for you, you can create a button right here. Another advertisement. The episode I just launched today for Matt Report was by a fellow Max Foundry who actually has a plugin for WordPress to create these buttons right in WordPress. So pretty awesome stuff.
Cool.
Well, I'll tell you, that's been a great SEO lunch.
That's been a good one.
I think a lot of good resources there.
Yeah.
We hope you did enjoy that. Again, we want to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you like what we're doing, let us know by either voting us down, which please don't, but if you don't like it, please do so we can learn how to get better.
Yeah.
or let us know in the comments. But if you do like it, please hit subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Post it the Twitters, the Google Pluses, and the Facebooks. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.